session, what I told my wife is that I have learned to be thankful for the victories, to accept the defeats, and to know that I get a chance to help the people in Hot Springs and Garland County. And I really feel like that I have been able to do some good for us. Now then, you guys know that I love public education. So I will tell you, at this juncture, public education has not been cut. Arkansas Learns got funded with about $180 million. Adequacy got funded with about $100 million. But there is nothing that I've seen where public education is getting cut. Now then, one of the big bills that we had come through the legislature dealt with insurance for schools, not health insurance, but casualty and property insurance. You had the Wynn School District that got completely wiped out with a tornado. There have been multiple cases where significant damage has been done to schools. The premiums for school insurance have increased drastically, making it very difficult when you're trying to balance a budget for schools to pay that premium and do everything we're supposed to do for education. So there was a bill passed that is setting aside a good bit of money for school insurance program. So we'll see how that works in the next year. So I'm just going to give you a rundown. The Revenue Stabilization Act, which is the last thing we do in a legislative session, it sets the budget for the biennium. And it was a 2.9% increase in spending. But I will tell you, there's a lot of spending going on outside of the Revenue Stabilization Act with one-time monies, which that concerns me because a lot of the things that we've increased as far as spending goes are recurring expenses. And we're using one-time monies to pay for some of those things. But those expenses are going to continue to come back year after year. So I think that's going to be a challenge that we're going to be looking at in future years is how do we balance the budget and continue to make those payments. So some of the highlights that we had, House Bill 1685 eliminates the state's 0.125 sales tax on groceries. House Bill 1732 increases the income tax deduction, y'all will love this, for teachers purchasing classroom supplies from $500 to $1,000. I mean, that's a song that many of us have sung for a long time. I remember the day where teachers got no reimbursement, no credit. All of you? But I knew so many teachers that bought shoes, you bought clothes, you sent food home. And I will tell you, you may not have gotten reimbursement, but there are stars in your crown one day. And that's a greater reward. Senate Bill 568 aims to boost Arkansas lithium industry through various tax incentives. I come from South Arkansas, and I love Arkansas, and I want all of Arkansas to do well. I'm thankful for Northwest Arkansas, but I'm also concerned about all of Arkansas. And I'm very fortunate that we live in Hot Springs, and we have a great community with a lot of good things happening. And I am on a couple of committees here to see if we can't make even more good things happen here. But I also concern myself with where I grew up, which is South Arkansas, down by El Dorado, little town of Smackover. The lithium is a potential to revive that part of the state. And so we did some things to help the lithium industry, which I hope will in turn bring people into that area. It will also increase sales tax revenue because people are coming in, people are buying the lithium products. Hopefully, manufacturing facilities will be built down there, and it will just help the economy of the southern part of the state. So I think that's good. Now then, this is another one that I know many of you have dealt with. Act 123 guarantees free breakfast every school day for all students in Arkansas public schools. This bill, funded through medical marijuana tax revenue, aims to ensure that no child goes to school hungry. Arkansas was ranked as the hungriest state in the nation in 2023, and this bill helps us combat that statistic by ensuring every student gets a nutritious meal to start their day. One of the guys that I served with is a teacher up around Fort Smith, and he said, I've got those students. He goes, at the beginning of the day, they just put their head down on the table and try to sleep because they're hungry. They're not in a position to learn. And he goes, I want them all awake and ready to learn. And he goes, this will help. So I know you've seen it. The House passed House Bill 1312, amending public school funding to provide an increase of 5% in per pupil funding, raising it to $8,162 for the 2025-26 school year. This amount includes the cost of health insurance. For the 2026-27 school year, the per pupil amount is set at $8,037, which that's a decrease, but let me explain that. $333 for insurance costs being paid directly to the Employee Benefits Division. So they're separating it. These ladies are going to be able to tell you a little bit more about employee benefits. I get asked all the time, because I've chaired public retirement now for 4 terms, about health insurance for retirees. That is in a totally separate area. It's the Employee Benefits Division. And I work very closely with Grant Wallace, who is over that area. And I think they're doing an excellent job. And I think the ladies are going to be able to share some good information with you to put your minds at ease on what's happening there. So we did several things to increase internet protection for minors. Get my paper clip off here so I can make sure I give you everything. Yep. All right. House Bill 1150, and I know you've seen ads on this, limits the role of pharmacy benefit managers in obtaining certain pharmacy permits. All right. I want to address this. You've seen ads that CVS Pharmacy is closing in Arkansas, and that we're totally messing up pharmacy benefits. That is not the truth. And I want to explain that to you. I had so many pharmacists from this town call me and go, please, we are having a hard time competing. If you don't vote for this bill, we're going to be out of business. What's been happening since the pharmacy benefit managers came in is they're trying to squeeze out every other pharmacy except about 3 or 4 big giants. And I have a guy in the legislature with me who is a pharmacist. And he gave me an example. There are companies like Walmart, Tyson, other big groups who self-insure. He has a cancer drug. He and his wife have both gone through cancer. In his pharmacy, he charges patients $90 for that individual prescription. This PBM that owns the CVS pharmacies charged one group $19,000 for that prescription. I think it was either Tyson or Walmart, and they're going, oh my gosh, we're going to have to go up on our premiums for our employees because these prescriptions have gone up so much. Those prescriptions haven't gone up that much, but that's what they were charging. There are also rebates that they are getting from companies for using them that go to overseas bank accounts that don't get put into the equation. So PBMs have been making it where it has been very unfair to the rest of the pharmacy business in the state of Arkansas. I come from a little town of Smackover. We used to have 2 pharmacies in my downtown. We're down to 1. And I've got a lot of people that if they shut that one down, then some of those people would have to drive to El Dorado, which you don't think that's much, but it's gas and it's finding someone to get you there. And that's an added expense to the prescription. And so we had a ton of testimony, and there were a lot of things to put PBMs in the right place. So I am very glad that we did what we did with the PBMs. I do not have a second thought about what we did, but if you see the ads about CVS shutting down, those CVS pharmacies in the state of Arkansas have 1% of the overall business. If they want to shut down, they can, but they don't have to. That's a scare tactic in my books. So, okay. Last thing that I was very involved with was a joint resolution, SJR 15, authorizing the General Assembly to provide for the creation of economic development districts to promote economic development. Arkansas has been very behind in being able to compete with our surrounding states when it comes to economic development projects. And this resolution will be presented to the people. We got to recommend 3 constitutional amendments to the voters that will appear in November of 2026. This to me is the most important one. And what it does is it will allow cities and counties to look at something and go, we want to form a separate tax district to abate real estate taxes for a period of time to help pay to get this company or this development done in our area. And I can tell you that I've been working on some economic development projects here. A big one that I've been working on, they said, you got to let us know if this constitutional amendment gets passed, because if not, we're out of Arkansas. Y'all are the only state in this 6-7 state area that we have no incentives to come here. And so I think this will change the landscape for Arkansas, because we will become competitive. But it's up to each community, each county, each city. They don't have to do anything, but if they choose to do it, they can. But it's going to have banks involved, and they're going to be looking at this. Is this a viable project or not? It's not going to be a risky type deal. It's going to be well vetted. So, but I love Arkansas. I think we have an incredible state, and I think that we are moving forward. I will always work to take care of Hot Springs. I will always work to take care of public education. I think we've got some battles ahead, but anyway, I'm grateful for the chance to serve all of you, but I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have any, but you can save them all for the EBD people if you'd like. Okay, so what we tried to do was put some protections. There have been some really sick internet sites out there that lure kids in, and then it takes them to very dark places. And so what we're trying to do is put protections in, tie parents in, so that they know if their kids going to certain sites, they're supposed to get their parents' approval before they go to a site. You know, is it going to be 100% effective? Probably not. But we tried to put some restrictions on some of these internet sites so that they couldn't just get to kids without uh, any problems. They had to go through steps in order to be able to get there. We wanted to make it more difficult for them to uh, warp our kids. So, what do you have one? Yes, ma'am. That was the project. I am on the Majestic site committee, and we have a group in, and I met with them last Thursday night, and he goes, "Have you passed it?" And I said, "We're working on it." So I texted them, and they said their group is now 100% on board with moving into Arkansas. And so I'm very excited with the possibilities, and I think we've got some great days coming here in Hot Springs. I can tell you the interest in our downtown is unlike anything I've seen lately. So we continue to be a shining star. And I can tell you, the governor and first gentleman both have told me, when you have something working, we want to know. We'll come down and we'll try to help you any way we can.
So the library, somebody told me the library is trying.
Okay, they have a proposal. I would not have a problem with them being close, but I envision the Majestic site. Our concept is more of a Majestic village and a gathering spot. I think everybody asks when you come to Hot Springs, where's the water? I think there needs to be water at this site. I would love to see some large water features. It needs to have it where people, the traffic flow, the walkers stop before they get there. We want something that draws the people in. We want that to be a gathering spot for things that happen in downtown. We've got some renderings that we've seen, and not the hotel. We've sort of gotten away from that, but we think we have some things that will be family friendly, that will draw people in, and it will be a major asset to everything and complement everything else that is happening in downtown Hot Springs. But we will now be able to start working and hopefully be able to present some stuff to Hot Springs that will be really exciting. Anything else? Thank you guys for letting me be here. Always enjoy it.